Hello viewers! For all of you who want to skip ahead to the unboxing section of the video, this time code. For everyone else, it's been a while. Haven't done many videos lately and the whole 3D printing went a little bit into the background. Sorry for that, but summers are short in Canada. My kids like to play outside and they want to have time with their daddy. Also, family visits during summer and a lot of necessary maintenance around the house and landscaping that can definitely not be done in winter time. However, there are other things. I also bought myself a camera drone that needed a little bit attention and playing around with. And there will be some changes coming to the channel in the future, and all of the things I had to do have something to do with that, but I will get to that when it is actually time. Other than that, as I hinted in my last video, I got something delivered quite recently and I finally had time to test it and make a video about it. So let's get on with it. Let's see what we got here. Well, first of all, pretty high quality packaging. Size-wise, it's nothing major. Who do I try to fool? I bought another Hotend. Yes, I know I promised I wouldn't do that anymore, but this was too cheap to pass up. So yeah, your favorite drug dealer's preferred packaging once again, and this is the Hotend. Just by holding it, you can already see that it is a high quality piece of machinery. It's quite light, in fact. But it comes with some heat paste and some tools, and all of that for the amount of $22 Canadian from AliExpress. So I was not able to not check this out. Well, let's take it apart and see what we're dealing with. First impression, it looks like the regular one, just a little bit shorter with a screwed in nozzle. And the tool actually does fit that nozzle, but it is a weird one once again. It's very tiny. It's allegedly a hardened steel nozzle. I don't know. I actually never tried that one. You will see later why. And that silicone boot feels tougher than the original one. We will compare in a minute. So this is the original one, in my case with the Algo nozzle in it. You can see right away the bolts holding the nozzle in are way smaller on this new one. I mean, the price needs to come from somewhere, right? And it feels flimsier. But yeah, those bolts, that's definitely a dead giveaway. The silicone boot on the original one, everyone knows it's quite squishy. The other one is shorter for starters, and it's hard, and I don't even know if it's silicone. It feels different. It's rough, textured, and kind of weird. This one slides on easy, as everyone knows, and it sits in place, and the other one, well, see, it has this little weird cutout on the bottom, and you have to really work it to get it on there. I mean, it goes on, but I would not want to do that while it's mounted on the printer. So, not the greatest thing. But who cares about the silicone boot? It comes with a heatsink, it comes with a hot end, it comes with a heating pad, and it comes with a temperature gauge. Let's compare weight differences. If my hand was betraying me, or if the new one is indeed lighter than the original one. New one, comes in at 31 grams. And the original one, in my case with the Algu nozzle, comes in at 32 grams. Huh, it's not that much difference. But what I was actually after is, can I finally run a regular off-the-shelf, let's say Ender 3 nozzle or something like that, in a hot end that I don't have to modify? Let's check it out. Take this weird tiny little hardened steel nozzle out, and in order to try that I also bought a pack of cheap off-the-mill Ender 3 nozzles. I will put all the links in the description below, so you guys can maybe buy that stuff yourself or not. But this is apparently a regular nozzle for the Ender 3 and others. And it does indeed fit. Now it's just a question, can you operate it this way? We will try that. Height difference. Yeah, it's quite a bit longer. But you can totally run a longer nozzle on the SV08 and have a that's quite a bit difference. Yeah, you can totally run a longer nozzle. I'm gonna show you how to do that without messing up your printer like I did in my first attempt with a long nozzle. I will show you how to do then your set offset calibration, but we get to that later. So, does this weird stiff boot still fit? Actually slides on quite easily. Well, yes, I know this is not the correct tool, but it was just lying there. So let's see, are there any other differences to the original? Side by side, the new one actually has a little bit more material, and yet it is lighter. That that speaks of high quality aluminum alloys. At the time of filming this video, I obviously already tested the new nozzle on the printer. And let me show you what I printed. I made this dragon egg with a rainbow colored filament, PLA, which was a pain to print. It really stringy and really bad, but whatever, it worked. Crunchy threads. And I also printed with this new nozzle the Fire Dragon. Gonna put the links in the description. And the infamous Chrystal Dragon. What can I say about this nozzle? I mean, for $22, if you want to experiment around and don't mess up your original Sovol parts, I would not say no. You can then run those regular Ender 3. Let me look what exactly those nozzles are. Apparently those nozzles that I bought fit the E3D V5 V6 MakerBot and others. MakerBot, Creality, CR10, Ender 2 and 3. So it's a pretty standard nozzle, and then you can obviously get all kinds of different aftermarket nozzles that would fit this hot end. The problem I ran into after printing the two dragons and the egg, my printer would not finish any print. And that had nothing to do with the hot end itself, it had something to do with the electronic components delivered with this high quality piece of machinery. Apparently the heating pad and the temperature nozzle are not really up to snuff. So they created all kinds of error 3, error 8, all those codes, and every print would not finish. So I just exchanged the crappy electronic components on this hot end with the ones that came with my printer, and ever since it works just fine. And let me now show you how to set up your printer so that you can do a set offset with a slightly longer nozzle. If you want to run a little bit longer nozzle, you have to do the following in your mainsail. You start it up your Orca slicer, or however you go into your mainsail. Then you go, when you do it via Orca slicer, here on device. Then you get your dashboard. Scroll down until you see extruder. Wrong. Scroll down until you see tool head. So, and on tool head you have here set offset. Now what we want to do is to avoid damaging the printer. So we want to raise the set offset which the printer tries to reach before starting the calibration. Let me explain. If you have your standard nozzle that is this long, your printer probes and does your set offset calibration. If you now, it goes like this close to your print bed. If you now add a really long nozzle and the printer starts probing, it tries to reach the distance from your probe on the side that it was able to reach before. But obviously now your nozzle is in the way, so it will drill your nozzle into your print bed. That's what we try to avoid. And we do that by raising everything. You click here, plus 0.5, plus 0.5, plus 0.5, bop, bop, bop. You can go quite crazy in order to avoid damage. I did like a centimeter or something like that, or 1.5, whatever you feel comfortable with. You might get away with half a centimeter, but yeah. And then you have to click save. This will save it to the actual file on the printer. And after that, your printer no longer tries to go very low. It just stops somewhere here, and then it realizes, hey, that doesn't work. And then it goes down and down and down and down and down until it actually touches it. Then it starts calibrating the new set offset from there. So this is how you avoid damaging your printer. You go here, hit save, and that will then save all of this into the G code of the machine. And then you can do your set offset calibration as you're used to from your little clicky screen or however else you do it. But that's definitely important, otherwise you will damage your printer if you run a longer nozzle. Do I think you should buy the new upgraded Hotend high temperature resistance, supports fast printing with hardened steel 0.4mm nozzle for Sovol SV08 3D printer from AliExpress? Nah, probably not, but it always comes down to certain things. Comes down to budget, availability, use case, and is it worth it to you? One thing I can say about this cheap Hotend is it opens another door. You can use off-the-shelf printer nozzles. You don't have to do the whole proprietary nozzle thing. But it obviously also comes with caveats and problems. As I said, the temperature sensor and the heating pad caused all kinds of problems after 3 prints. Also, when I had a closer inspection after printing those dragons and the dragon egg, it turned out the Hotend came actually kind of loose, like the bolts were not tightened properly. And the temperature sensor, maybe it works, but it seems to have not been seated properly in the hole where it belongs. And the heating pad, it did heat, but I guess it didn't keep the heat, or it was out of the expected temperature range once in a while. I'm not 100% sure. And I'm probably not gonna go into examining that. That's not worth my time. However, it opens up another door. People can try it. I thought it was worth the $20 I spent. I'm still using it and it works so far. So then I hope it's not going to take me another 9 to 15 months to make a new video. And I guess see you next time. Thanks for watching.